Imagine you bought an iPhone, but you only use it as an alarm clock. And that's exactly how most people are using ChatGPT right now. You send a request, get a result. Like Google, just better. But there's another approach. Create your own personal AI assistant that thinks like you and has your knowledge. And today, I'll show you how to set up your own personal assistant in 15 minutes without any coding. Okay, ChatGPT is smart, but it doesn't know who you are. It's like going to a doctor you've never met, who doesn't know your medical history. You'll have to spend a long time explaining what's wrong and how you're feeling. But now imagine you have a personal assistant who knows everything about you, about your company, your goals, your tasks. They have your documents. They can analyze them and use all that information just like you do when making decisions or creating products. I've created an entire team of such assistants. One is for marketing, another is for reviewing documents and contracts. And instead of writing 20 lines of text and queries every time, I just write to it once and keep it short. Here's a contract with a potential partner. Please check it for compliance with our rules and highlight any risks. And it knows exactly which risks to pay attention to, which terms work for us and which don't, and it will give me a very thorough result. If it's so cool, then why don't most people use it? There are a few reasons for that. First, most people simply don't know that such a feature exists, even though it was introduced back in 2023. The second reason is that it looks complicated. And yes, you do need to spend a little time thinking through the instructions for this custom bot and uploading the files. But you only do this once, and then you can keep using the results over and over. Another reason is that many people don't understand why they would need it. And here's the most interesting part. I tracked how much time these custom assistants actually save me personally, and I came to the conclusion that it's about 10 to 15 hours a week, which is a lot. There's also less stress when interacting with GPT. We tested this with our team. Before, we would constantly hear people getting frustrated with GPT while working with it. After introducing custom and personalized assistants, we even measured the sentiment of conversations with GPT, and the negativity dropped threefold. And most importantly, there's now a consistent, systematic, and predictable outcome. And now you'll see that we can create one together with you in just a few minutes. But first, let me show you a real-life example of the difference between a personalized assistant and regular ChatGPT. For the company Talentech, for our team, I set up a personal business coach, a business mentor. It has special instructions on how and what questions it can answer. And now let's ask the same question to both this personalized assistant and the regular ChatGPT. I've prepared a question on the topic. My team and I are thinking about letting an employee go, and we have some doubts about what we should do. I'm literally copying and pasting this question. Let's start with the regular ChatGPT. Let's look at the result. What does it tell us? Okay, yes, this is a tough decision. You need to think it through carefully. And it suggests a step-by-step approach. You need to determine the reason, assess the facts, and so on. And here there are a lot of different tips. Now let's ask the same question to this talented business coach. We're asking the same thing. What should we do? And then look at what he writes. And he quotes a principle that my team and I have adopted. If we start having doubts and begin discussing whether to let an employee go, then it's time to let them go. We're not going to waste time, months on research and analysis, because several people already have doubts. And as you can see, it immediately brings us back to the principles we've developed over years of working together. We don't need to go through all the steps that a general GPT would process, because through our own experience we have these principles and we follow them. It saves us a lot of time and brings us back to our values, to our principles. So, are you ready to create your own personal assistant? Let's get started. First, you need to have a paid ChatGPT subscription. For us, It's called ChatGPT Plus. Next, go to the My GPTs menu. And right here at the top, you have the option to create a new GPT. Click here. Fill in the name, add a description, and most importantly, write out the instructions for this assistant. Let's imagine you need to create a personal assistant to respond to our clients' inquiries. In other words, a sales customer support assistant. Our product is Talenteer, a career mentor. So let's create a sales customer support assistant for this product who will respond to client inquiries. So we write, Talenteer Sales Customer Support. Next, you can write any description you like, but now the most important thing is the instructions. I've prepared the instructions in advance. They're quite detailed, as you can see, and we'll copy them. I'll go through it now. We insert these instructions into the instruction field, and then look at what I tell it, what context I set for it. I tell it, you are a sales assistant. You need to act like a sales assistant at the company Talenteer, which is an AI career mentor. Your job is to respond to customer inquiries. You need to be friendly, calm, and professional, and many other instructions that I want our real sales and customer support agents to keep in mind when communicating with clients. For example, I say, here is our official website. And please use information about prices, products, and our unique features from our official website when responding. Also, use the product description that we will attach to your instructions. So, as you can see, I'm explaining in quite a lot of detail what I expect from it. That's it. You, accordingly, can set your own instructions for your specific case. I also write to it. If someone asks you about something and, for example, you don't have enough information, you can redirect the client to this email or this phone number for direct contact with an agent. These are some of the principles I lay out. Next, what we need to do is add even more context. We have prepared files in advance with a description of the Talenteer product, services, positioning, who our clients are, and so on. We also prepared the values that need to be considered when communicating with the client. And we upload them. Here is the knowledge section. We upload these files, upload the product description, and upload all these values. So we attach 3 files. You can attach as many as you want. Basically, the more context you give it, the better. The file is uploaded, and additional knowledge is available. Next, we leave it with options for searching and for using image generation, in case you need to generate images in context. Another setting is to set up standard queries that you'll be using very often. For example, for this agent, a common case will be given answer to this specific client question. And that's exactly what we write. Answer to this specific question. That's it, there you go. And you can set up several of these standard questions as well. So we've set it up, given it a standard instruction, and provided additional context. We've also given it the basic standard questions it should handle, and now we click Create. Next, you can either give your team access or use it just by yourself. For this example, I'll be using it by myself. We click Create. And you get a link, and we can check out the result. So here we see our Talenteer Customer Support Assistant. Now let's compare how this personalized customer support assistant works versus the standard ChatGPT. So imagine there's a request from a client. He wants to know what's included in the paid subscription. So we wrote, what's included in the paid subscription. We're not saying anything about the product or what kind of company this is. The client simply wrote what is included in the paid subscription, and we pressed enter. Now let's see what our personalized GPT gives us. And as you can see, it pulled all the information from our website. It gathered all the information from the product description and provided a very detailed instruction on exactly how to respond to this client. Now let's compare what happens if I enter the same query into the standard ChatGPT. And obviously, no one is really going to do that. To get an answer to a question like this, you need to give GPT a lot more context. And in most cases, you'll end up adding, once again, a file with the product description. You'll copy all your offers, prices, and add all of that to the prompt, and then you'll get an answer. But for all of this, each of us will be spending time. But if I don't do that, then we'll get a result like this. I enter the same question into the standard GPT. It tries to find something on the internet. I don't know what it's planning to find there, and it gave me an answer about standard paid subscriptions for Netflix, Disney Plus, and YouTube Premium. Of course, we didn't give it any context, so it just gave us whatever. And this is just an example so you can see how much more effective and faster it is to work with individual personalized assistants like Custom GPT. So here's your plan for today. Pick one repetitive task that you do often, every day. For example, sending emails to clients, responding to client inquiries, preparing presentations, or writing text for social media. Describe the end result you expect. Set up a personalized assistant for this task. Give it detailed instructions. Add knowledge to it in the form of files, descriptions of your products, your rules, your communication style, and start using it every day to save dozens of hours each week. You have two options. Either keep using ChatGPT like Google, or get an effective personal assistant who will boost your productivity several times over. Write in the comments what task you would like to create your personal assistant for. I'll help you write instructions for that task. In the next videos, I'll explain how to integrate such personal assistants into your team's workflow. Subscribe. It's only going to get more interesting.